Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's GW again. Start out, subscribe, do whatever it is you got to do down below if you like this. I hope you do. I may not remember to remind you of that at the end, so just keep thinking about it and put it on your list of things to do. I'm going to be using my reading glasses a lot today. There's just a lot going on. This is day 50. Day 50. Trump's administration has been working hard. Uh, been doing something for 50 days now. It's been 50 days since January 20th. So let's take a look here at the last 7 or 8 days and just see what kind of notes that I've taken. This is really a lot of fun going through these things sometimes. So first of all, it's pretty obvious to me that Trump continues to consolidate the power, and he's doing everything that he can to bring the power into the executive branch. If you take a look at Congress as a whole, Congress almost doesn't exist anymore when you take a look at what they have done or what they haven't done. It is absolutely amazing at how powerless they are. They can't they don't have the votes to do anything. Nobody has a majority. Even if they had a majority, if they had a super majority, I doubt that Trump would pay any attention to anything other than what it is that he wants to do anyhow. So the other interesting thing is that the Supreme Court, seems to be showing some signs of having a backbone. Now, they're not flaunting it at this particular moment in time, but a couple of decisions have come down that just kind of give me a little bit of hope that they're not going to just be a rubber stamp on anything that Trump and good old Elon wants to do. So that's a good sign. Now, a bad sign is that Trump has decided that he is not going to continue any type of intel, not going to do any intel sharing with Ukraine at this particular moment in time. I think the rapid activity that they had in the Oval Office a week ago, I think, is driving a lot of that. I think a lot of that is that he is trying to position it so that at the end of this, when there is peace, and there will be, they will figure out a way to come to peace. But it's going to look like everything that happens is going to be in the favor of Russia. And Russia is going to they're just going to win. That's the only thing you can look at it by. I don't see any other way to look at it. And that shouldn't happen. The protests, however, when you take a look inside our own country, inside the U.S., protests continue to go on nationwide and surprisingly large. I mean, there are town halls that are being had by different members of Congress that thousands of people are showing up to, and that's unusual. Usually these things are attended by 10 or 15 folks who really just want to have the donuts. And but now you got entire gymnasiums that are being filled with 3 or 4 thousand people. Really kind of impressive. And the bottom line of what they're doing is they're trying to tell Congress that Congress is not fighting hard enough. They're not trying. They are not doing everything they can to stop what is going on in the executive branch. I tend to agree with that. It seems to me that there is more that can be done. There is more, as John Lewis used to say, there's more good trouble to be gotten into. So, what else is going on? Well, stock markets are having a tremendously bad week, down several percentage points. All that instant wealth that Trump promised us 50 days ago certainly hasn't happened yet. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime in the near future. Could be wrong. Hopefully, I'm wrong. But bottom line with that is that he doesn't seem to care. He is making noises now of, well, yes, of course, there's going to have to be some pain before we can get over that. Well, I don't know what else to say on that other than the fact that anybody that's retired or thinking about retiring, better check your whole card. We are continuing to realign the world order. And when I say we, I mean the US. We are somehow thinking that it's okay to abandon NATO, to abandon our historical allies that we have helped through thick and thin over the last 80, 90 years. And suddenly we're positioning ourselves with Russia and China. What's even more ridiculous on that is that instead of being the leader of that, we're in an obviously subordinate role to Russia and China. Don't know why anybody would want to be in a subordinate role to Russia and China. Just beyond me. And but one thing, though, that was brought up to me the other day is that you hear the argument of, well, Trump can't do much because he doesn't want to upset his base. Well, you're hearing that argument less and less now because he is starting to upset his base, I believe. But he didn't care. He's not going to run in another election. If he stays on as president, if there's an election, it will just be a pretend election like Russia has now. He has an example that he can base that on. He doesn't care about his base. The only thing he cares about right now is what he's doing and the actions that he's taking and the impact that is having. And it's an amazing impact. I mentioned this earlier. Congress is no longer an effective check and balance to the executive branch. Supreme Court hopefully maintains their backbone, but Congress just does not. You also have Elon Musk, taking his Doge and going into the FAA and taking Starlink and trying to embed that in the FAA and have that be the air traffic control system. That's a system that has not been vetted by the U.S. government. Don't know whether or not it meets the standards. It might, but it hasn't been vetted with them. So how would we know? Again, just really bad, potentially really bad. And of course, the FAA, which is air traffic controllers, had cuts, and we've had all these air incidents. Not all with large planes, so with small planes also. But it's just a indicator that things are not working as they should, and they need to be improved, and hopefully they will be soon. So, Art, I just kind of wonder, what kind of actions that are being done in different places. And one action that comes to my mind is that the majorities that the Republicans hold at this precise moment in time, the majorities in the House and the Senate are razor thin. I mean, razor thin, just a person or two or three. And it would seem to me that there would be people that are on the Republican side who have watched what's gone on in the last 50 days and say, this is not what I bought into when I, went into this Republican Party. This is not my Republican Party anymore. And it seems to me that there should be some people there that we ought to the Democratic people up in the House and the Senate ought to be having hard conversations with of why are you continuing to do this when it is so obviously wrong. Now, I still have friends that say that everything that Trump is doing is right, and you need to get the country to run more efficiently, and you need to get the country to run on a smaller budget. You need to have the states pull their own weight. You need to have the NATO countries pull their own weight. All this is true, but not like this. This is just the most ineffective way of doing it. It's a way that a CEO would go in and just buy a company, tear it apart, sell the pieces off, and then go on and buy another one. But the United States of America is not a company. We're a country. And we're not able to accept going in and tearing us apart and selling off what you can, and then whatever's left over, just kind of hang on. Not going to be that way. So, tariff wars, well, we're not winning those. It's pretty apparent here in this week as he's tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs on, tariffs off. It doesn't seem to me that we're in a winning position today. Maybe it'll change by next week, but we shall see. Folks, that is my roll-up of what's happened in the last 8 to 10 days. This is day 50. These are my government thoughts, day 50. Boy, I'd like to have better news on day 60, but we'll see. Anyway, hope everybody listens to this. I do remember to have you subscribe or follow or do whatever it is down below. I really would like to hear comments back on what you think of whether or not this makes any sense. Most of this is just factual coming out of the papers and things. It's certainly not meant to have a bunch of lies, and I don't think there are any lies that I've told in here. So y'all have a good week. Y'all keep going. Remember, things can get better. So let's help the Democrats. Let's make things better. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next time.